Hello, my name is Steve Curran. I'm the creator of the Flower Child Project Man spacecraft design concept. I'm going to continue on with the Flower Child Project Yamato. This grouping was the application did that by itself. I did not do this grouping. This grouping I did. I created this grouping. These outer rings are these things here. This is the framework that holds the outer skin together. That so we're on ring number 180, and each ring is 10 feet distance from each other. So in the last video, I had problems with the creation process, and then so I only made 18 rings. I'm going to see how many rings I can make this time around. Okay. So basically all I'm going to do is continue on with the ring process. So 180 is the last one, so I need to do 190. So what I'm going to do is copy this and move it, copy that and move it, rename this, rename that, and combine them to form a new ring. And once I've made a bunch of them, I'm going to put them in this thing here. And do that until I get bored. Okay. Copy. 190. Rename that. Or oh, I have to do the colons because these are numbers and these are the negative numbers. Okay. Oops. Or 190. Copy, move to 190, name that, and then The interior goes into the exterior. Okay. Just verify that exterior frames, yeah. Just verify. Okay. Oops. It is you can hit the box or you hit the thing. Okay. Copy, move 200, and we're going to go up to 500. Because this spacecraft is 1,000 feet long. Mm. 200. Exterior. Copy. Move 200. If you tap too fast, the numbers won't type. I think that has to do with the PRISMA3D and not my tablet. And then that. $200. Outer frame goes into the inner frame. Inner frame goes into the outer frame. Like that. Copy. Move to 10. Rename. Copy. The reason I'm doing this method is because this off first. When I group the things, when I had these two grouped, and I tried to copy the group, it would not copy. So I do them individually, and I name them individually. Rename that to 20. Copy. Move. Hopefully I can do the get off get to 500 in a couple hours. Working on a project like this takes, for me, usually is the max is between 2 hours and 4 hours. So when it comes to crafting, creating stuff on Prisma3D, and same thing with Blender, or even on my writing projects when I'm doing literary projects. It's not uncommon for me to spend 2 to 4 hours on a project. Some projects only takes 30 minutes or less, but most of my projects are between 2 hours and 4 hours in length. Copy, move to 230. Rename. Now the reason I do the ORs and the numbers is so that way, first of all, it shortens the name tags, but also differentiates these two bases, the center ones, from the other ones that I'm creating. So that's interesting. Copy, move. So this is going to be a boring video. Just repetition. I'm going to see how much of these rings I can make. So there's basically 50 rings altogether. 1,000 feet divided by 10 is 100. Yeah, so 50 this way, 50 positive rings, and 50 negative rings. And then I got, let's see, 90, 200, 10, 20, 240. Copy, move. Or rename. 2, 4, no, come on, get out of there. Stereo, copy, move. So in the previous video, find that. In the previous video, in order to activate the aerials, the GUIs, you have to press once. So, and then you have to press the second time to get the numbers. And for me, that was kind of a headache, but because I'm only using numbers. But for people who want to use the GUIs, there's a tapping once, and then, then second time for numbers is okay. So I have no, the rename. I have no problems with having to tap twice for the numbers. Because that's, yeah, different people do different things. 240, I double tapped the 2 and it kicked in. Rename. Yeah, there are times where you just you don't want to do specific numbers, but that's not me. So different people have different ways of doing it. I'm using this as a CAD application and not as a visual graphics design. So okay. 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 And then hide that because, okay, so that's 250. I'm on 250 now. Copy, move, 250. I'm gonna test something here. 5, okay. 00 is default. Okay. 250. Oh, I gotta rename that. Angle myself a little bit better for the camera. Okay, and you do the outer ring, copy, move, 250, rename. Yeah, sometimes if I was using, if the numbers stick, which they don't, meaning the values of the objects, okay, I need to group the value, the scale size of the objects don't, if you, once you create an object, make its numbers, then you save it and you create another object. The first object you made, the numbers go reverts to value 1 instead of the numbers that you create. When you exit the program and then you come back, the values that you created the numbers with are reverted to 1. And that's kind of a pain in the rear. But sometimes when I'm creating something, I just want to move it a little bit. I don't need to do the numbers. I just need to make sure it's off center a little bit so I can see what's going on. Okay, copy, move, 260. Rename. Exterior, copy, move, 260, rename, so interior goes to exterior. Okay. So for example, let's see here, just right, for example, let's, we'll take this 0, oops, 90, Okay, so okay, move is 4.4. So sometimes, like, if I'm trying to, let's just, ooh. Okay, if I want to see if they merge or something, for example, I just, no, that did not work. I just want to merge like that and then see if they're eating each other, non-creating objects, and something like that. And so I don't need to actually do the actual move numbers. I just use this every once in a while. But okay. Four point four. That's up and down. Okay. 400. So yeah. So I don't always need to use the values, but more often than not, I do. I almost always use the values 95% of the time, 99% of the time, things like that. So, get out of there. 260, so number 270, copy. Oops. Move to 70. Rename. Gotta watch this. I've been touching the screen with my tinky lately while I'm tapping the numbers. And that screws things up big time. So that has nothing to do with PRISMA3D. That's outside of the apps. And that's a user error on my part. And that has nothing to do with the computer system either. It's just me. Copy. And rename. Yeah, if I since I can't create and measure objects, like if the divides would stick when you turn off the application or change out, I'd have a measure cube, I'd have a measure cylinder, I'd have a measure sphere. And what these would do, what I use these for various things, like measuring distances between objects, or measuring the length of a combination of objects. I use them to create the cylinders, the nozzles, and I use it for a variety of things. And each one does different things, whatever's useful for me. Laser cubes is the one I use the most, but this measure spheres are the one I use the least. So let's see, let's get back to business. Copy. So then be able to choose between one tap or two taps. One tap to just move the stuff, and two taps for the values would be more important for me. But since the objects don't stick, I don't create and measure objects that are as permanent objects that I move around a lot. They get moved around, they get resized and stuff. So, measure objects are very, very helpful in my project, my PRISMA3D projects. I was using them in Blender too, Blender 3D. So, copy. 290. I'm going up to 500. I'm just reminding myself. So the original plan was for this spacecraft to be 1,000 feet long, but because I went and decided to do this framework, it's going to be longer than 1,000 feet. And I could have just said, okay, I'm going to reduce the ring so it's less than 1,000, so the overall spacecraft makes it less than 1,000. And I said, nah, I'm not going to do that. And then we need an exterior frame, copy, move to 90, 90. And then Interior frame goes into exterior frame. Okay. Copy. Move. 100. 100. And then 100. Exterior. Copy. Move. 300. Still got 20 more to go. And then $20 more for the positive ring numbers. Then I gotta do 50 negative ring numbers. Interior goes into exterior. Okay. That was 1, that was 2, that was 3, that was 4. Come on. 1001, 1002, that's usually what it takes. Oh no. No, 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 no. Oh wait, okay, no, okay. That's grouped, okay. Never mind. Come on. I moved to the left so I know if I grabbed it or not. Okay. Copy, move, 310. And then forward. Exterior, copy, move, 310, and then interior goes into exterior. Like that. Yeah, technically. Copy, move 320, rename, so the outer skin is going to be 1 feet thick. And the exterior, okay, I lost both skins. Okay, which is okay. I have to redo them anyways. Exterior, copy, move 320, rename, oh, I did not get copied. Copy that. Move. Zero, zero. Rename. Okay, it's just okay. Now, in previous versions, I wouldn't be able to do this because I'd have to have an extra number. I had to use like a number or something, but not with this. I can just, which sometimes it's a headache, sometimes it's not. It's making mistakes is a headache. And making a mistake and not realizing it until you got several different things going on, made and okay. All right, 320. Okay. That's that. Now, And outer ring, move 0. Okay. All right. Oh no. Nope. I'm gonna undo that. Okay. You wanna know what your movement is? Okay. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, it's okay, yeah, it's in the object, so we gotta go on that, and then we got outer ring exterior hull frame. That should be 0, because that's the center point. And who are you? .320, move, needs to be at 320. Oh, you're doing the math on me now? Okay. Move, that's correct. Move, okay. Can't correct these this triple value here. I can get it down to 0.1, 0.001, but 2. That's correct. In the previous version, you could not get it fixed at all. Just bouncing around, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. Interior hold, interior goes to exterior. $330. Copy, move, 330, rename, yeah, you gotta watch how this thing, watch how PRISMA3D 3D behaves, because they'll switch methods on you. Okay, that's I just want to get a positive 0 number. Okay. $330. What the hell are you? Minus 564. I said minus. Oh, that is the one that's... Okay. And we go... We need to see the numbers. One is 0.00. Come on. 0.003. $330. Here. Well, it's working now. It's better than previous versions where you just had to be content with 0.001 inaccuracies. Okay, now rename that. Like I say, you gotta watch be aware of what's going on with the PRISMA3D because it flips on you. Copy, move, 340. Exterior, copy, move. Oh, I didn't rename this critter. Rename. Rename. Oh. Interior goes into exterior. Undo the grouping. No, not undo. Hide the grouping. 10, 20, 30, 40. So 350. Copy. Move. 350. And then exterior, copy, move, 350, 350, rename, interior goes into exterior, 1001. Hide the group. Okay. Hide the subordinates, whatever. Copy, move 360. We're going to 500. Personal reminder. Rename. 360. Color frame. Copy. Move 360. And then again, I don't mind double tapping for the to get the numbers on the movement and rotation and scales. Even though I'm using numbers that single taps would be faster for people that don't use the values but use these things. A single tap to activate these things is okay, and a double tap to activate the numbers for these things. Okay, single tap for these and double tap for numbers, that is okay by me. That system works for me. Although double tapping for numbers, I do that a lot, almost exclusively. But only I'm doing it almost exclusively is because I don't have the values, the object scale values don't stick, and so I cannot make measure objects that I can keep permanently, then which I can scale up and down, and then when I resize them, I just use these GUIs to resize those when I'm matching up against something else, so that way I know if something's eating something, if one object's eating another object. Okay, so let's see. Oops. Okay. Interior frame, exterior frame. Nope. Nope. I'm just trying to hide that. Okay. Time to put these guys inside the frame objects. Yep. Yeah, I'm repeating myself a lot in this video because there's really nothing going on. Just repetitive, repetitive, repetitive. Okay, and nope, I do not want to do. I do not want to help that. 10, 20, 30. Let's do it. So I'm at 370. copy, move, 370, rename, the issue that I have when it comes to the numbering system, the real issue that I have is that you don't have a way of, like these bars down here, they could be color coded to match the GUI numbers here. Red, green, blue. So, especially with the rotation values, don't know which one is the XYZ. Especially when they get reorientated. Or even change the view, and then okay, you're thinking you're in the XYZ format, but when you don't have the, get out of that. Project name. Okay. When you don't have the project name text in view, and okay, is zapped out because this is a big object. You know, you're doing something like this, and you go into the XYZ rotation, or you go into the scale rotation. You might get to, you know, if you don't know what, you know, you're thinking in the view front and then you're not, you know, you're not matching the angle that the thing is in. And then, you know, so like these need to be color coded, otherwise you get the numbers wrong. And since the numbers don't stick, and not, you know, if you gotta change the numbers, you gotta destroy the object and create a new object to replace it. And that is a pain in the rear and a half. So outer frame, 370, copy, move, 370, rename, and color coding, I have always complained about that. Color coding these values here to match ever since I started using PRISMA3D in 2018-2019 version 1 when it first came out. I was using it half a dozen times. Okay, these values need to be color coded, and they never did that. Okay, okay, that's done. Exterior. So interior goes into exterior. Eating is the term eating. What I'm using for eating is something like this. Let's see. Let's go to. I actually want to talk about when I'm saying eating. Open up. Get all that. Alright, wait, let's see what are you at? Okay. So let's create an object. Sphere. And let's move it. Oh, you got links. Okay, I gotta see how these numbers look. Okay, nothing got jacked. Okay, no, let's delete this here. Let's create a new object. Let's create a cube. No. Let's create a cylinder. Yes. This all linking, all grouping is BS. Causes all kinds of problems. Cube is going to go bye-bye. Center, we're going to scale that 10. 10. 10. Okay. We're going to move that. Negative 400. Negative 200. Center that. Okay. X, Y, Z. That's that. Oh, what the hell? Oh, okay, the text. Okay, this is minus 45. Okay. So I want to have let's say I created this, and I want it to merge to be here, touching, but okay, that's eating, and it's here, so that's okay. Okay. Yeah, so they're not eating each other now. Okay, delete that. So that's what I mean by eating. Okay, and that's my terminology. Okay, so we got 370, now we go to 380. Copy, move, 380, rename, I have used that term in the previous videos and within this series. So, I may have used that term in other videos concerning PRISMA3D. Outer frame, copy, move 380. Rename. Now there are times when you want to when you're putting in objects, you want them to be integrated like that. But usually I use the term for when I'm trying to have them adjacent and not be inside each other. So copy, move 390, we're going to 500, first reminder. So I have 10, 1, I have 11 more to go. Oops, I did not rename. Oh, okay, I did rename it. Outer frame, copy, move, 90. Inside goes into the exterior. Okay, I did that. Interior, copy, we're going to 400. And once I make the frame 500, this video will end. And we are at 1 hour and 20 minutes. Rename. Exterior, copy, move. There are people that can do this faster than me, and as far as I'm concerned, that's okay by me. I'm not a professional. But I use PRISMA3D a lot. As sucky as an app it is, I use it. And because it's the only thing that's available. 410, copy, move. That can do what I'm doing here with the level of graphics that I want to play with. Rename. Now when I was on Blender 3D, and going on the Blender Artist's website, chatting about things, people were more concerned about the skins and of the objects, and I was working on the flower chart project. I was just trying to get the basic frame structures going, you know, the hull structure. I was doing the hull structure. I did some framing like this, but not this extensive on some of my project, flower chart projects and non-flower chart projects. So, and I was doing aircraft, spacecraft, planets, stars, you know, I was trying to do a solar system representation based on the Traveler 1980 Traveler RPG system, description of what a typical space flight would look like. Flight sequence would be. We can we launch from the solar system world. It takes a week to get to the jump point. You spend a week jumping from one star system to another star system. Then you spend a week in the other star system going to that world point. Then you spend a week or 2 weeks at port. So you basically, week in the going to the jump for a week. Week in to the other star system, and then week inside the spaceport. So yeah, so basically they described a 1 month sequence of what a jump look like, what a jump sequence would look like. Now you're jumping from one star, then jumping from that star point to another star point. You know, you're not going to the planetary. Then that's there's a that changes the sequence a little bit. Okay, what do we got here? Rename 410. So I was on Blender websites. Yeah, they're just focused on the skins more or less, and I wasn't ready for that on my, and I really didn't want to do skins either. I just want to create the detailed models of the easy Blender 3D models to create specific sections and stuff. It is okay. Like you do the interior, the human habitat, my flower chart project theory is that the basic human volume is 4 feet by 4 feet by 8 feet. And so you want to create like a dresser or a storage cabinet for your bathroom hygienic supplies, wet towels, dry towels, and underwear and stuff. You have there'd be a cabinet with, I'd actually build the cabinet and I'd build the drawers and stuff, where the blender artist would have just created a skin for the wall and say, okay, here's this, how about this? And it's like, no, that's not what I'm trying to do here. And they, like on the, I was doing the orbital planets, the orbital of the Earth, the Moon, and Mars around the Sun. And I was having problems with getting this sunlight to look yellowy and glowy. And they came, and some guys came up with some images that are really nice, but not what I was aiming for in terms of what I wanted the sun to look like. So, and that has to do with lighting, that has to do with a bunch of features that Blender 3D has that you're not having experience with. So, okay, copy, move, I said 20, gotta watch the stuff, rename that, I have fast eyes, so exterior, copy, move, 420, and it's a common error, so so I know to look out for that also. So interior goes into exterior, hide the interior, copy, 430, rename, yeah, I'm not a professional at anything. I'm not degreed in anything. I'm just a commoner and British colloquial, even though I'm American. But then I use, as an American, I use foreign words, non-American words, in my everyday usage. Depending on the context, for example, repete is very common. Wait a minute. Get out of there. Get out of it. Okay. This thing uses math and down there. Okay. Yep. It's using math. Okay. 0, 0, 0. And 0.004. Okay. Now, just do the math stuff. We're on 4:30 already? That looks like it. Yes, we are in 4:30. No. No. Okay, so okay, let's see if we can do this. And we got 7 more to go. Whatever. Okay, I'm done with this. Rename. Interior goes into exterior. Like that. Okay, now it's time to put everything in our objects. There we go. So we're going to 500, so that we got 8 more to go, and then we're done. And we are at 137. So about a half hour, I should be done. One. Okay, and then we do that. So it oh, we got 7 more to go. 440. Copy. Move. There may be something that I'm doing that I'm not aware of that is activating the mathematic calculations instead of me putting in the whole number as the actual location. And I'm not sure what that is, although I believe it has to do with deleting the entire number. But that's why I delete the entire number, so to avoid the mathematics. Wait. That's correct. Okay. For 40, for 50, copy, move, 50, and exterior, copy, move, for 50, rename, oops, rename, rename is not a problem, but when you make mistakes with the move, rotation, and scales, that is a pain in the rear. Okay. Especially when you can't properly resize the thing after you made the project. Made the object and gone into another object. The values need to stick. Copy, move 460. And then Four 60. There's okay. Copy, move 460. We can do that. And then put it on here. Interior goes to the exterior. Copy, move 470. That was my mistake, not an eye issue. I tapped that thing. I targeted 7. Rename. Sometimes I do target the wrong key. Other times I target the correct key, but I end up hitting the wrong key. So there is, okay. Interior, exterior, okay, I need to do exterior. Copy, move 470. And then but yeah, I do a lot of, I target one key or one button and I end up hitting another one. That happens a lot. Nope, not rename. Copy, move 480. Rename 480. Nope. Rename. There we go. Exterior. Copy. Move 480. Rename. Interior goes into exterior. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, okay. There we go. Copy, move 490. And then come on, get in there. I was doing it all correct all night long. Now I can't hear anything. Okay. 190. And then exterior. Copy. Move. 190. And then interior goes to exterior. Okay, like that. And then we do 500. Copy, move. And then exterior. Copy, move 500. And then interior goes to exterior. Okay, like that. And now we put everything in the framework structure. Yep. $1,001. Yeah, you can't, you gotta wait a little bit. You gotta be patient. I got fast reflexes. Is like, whoa, yeah, this is thing, you know. You gotta be, nope. 1001. Come on, come on. 1001. No, wait a minute. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. 1001, okay. There we go. $1,001. Okay. And that's everything. So the next video, I'll go from 00 to negative 500 at minus 10s. So I'm going to do the negative ring values. And Yeah, that's why PRISMA3D is not good for the Flower Child project, because the Flower Child is too big for the graphics. Okay. And there's the data on the videos. The Flower Child Project Yamato. The version is 11.1.2025. The previous and earlier update knocked out all of my stuff. So I have to restart the Yamato. So I'm using this is the new day that I started it. And so that's everything.